Hey guys, I'm back. Long week in West Texas. I drove over 1,600 kilometers. I talked to Guido and Michael, our Hamilker, Saturday, and we were discussing my rather long road trip. We had a nice session on Skype. That was nice. So, but the purpose of this video is I want to discuss a kit, do a review of a kit, and talk about a new buddy build that I will be beginning very soon. I don't have exact dates and times yet. And I'm going to be doing this buddy build. This is just going to be Shane Smith and myself. What's up, bud? Shane, you're my hero. Yeah, Shane is, guys, if you haven't seen Shane's channel, he is a extremely skilled modeler and figure painter, and he has been doing a series here recently on how-to on 1/35th scale figure painting. He's been painting some Fallschirmjäger figures from portrayed in the Crete campaign, and he's a great modeler. He's a good friend. Now, this build, guys, I know a lot of times people want to join in. I think this is just going to be me and Shane, so everyone will get to just kind of watch this. And Shane and I haven't really set a start date yet. I think we may actually do this pretty soon. He has this kit in his stash as well. And what are we going to be building? Well, this is not new. You guys have seen this probably before. It's the 1/48th scale Airfix Bf109 in E-1, E-3, or E-4. And it's a hell of a kit. It's a relatively new tool. And I don't know if I have a date on it or not, but it is a quote-unquote new tool kit from Airfix. It's my first Airfix kit. I have never owned one at all. There's no date on the box exterior that I can see. Now, these kits can be had really affordably at retail. They're only about $17 to $19 US, and I paid $9 for this one off an eBay deal from an individual. So this was previously owned, and I think it was only $6 to ship it, so it was $15 total. So it was a tremendous value, and the kit is full of detail. We'll get inside and take a look at it, but it's really a great kit. And so the email, E was the email, that's what the pilots nicknamed it, E standing for email. You can build this kit into the 3 different versions. Well, there were more than that. There was an E7 as well, a tropical version. And E1 was really kind of the first large-scale production version of this aircraft. And it had the same DB601. DB stands for Daimler-Benz. It was an inverted V, gasoline inline piston engine. Pretty unique. Around 1,100, 1,200 horsepower, give or take. What was the difference between E1 and E3, you may ask? You may not. There were some minor differences. There was very few differences between the E3 and E4, which I will mention. They all had the same engine. It wasn't until the F model they began to put the DB601N engine in the F model, which had a considerable performance increase in horsepower and also at altitude. But the F model didn't go into production until 1941. So the E1 was originally equipped with 2 MG-17 7.92 millimeter machine guns in the nose cowling, synchronized to fire through the propeller, and then it had wing root slots for additional 7.92 millimeter machine guns in the wings. And the experiences that the Luftwaffe, or the Condor Legion, had in Spain and in Poland early in the war, they realized they needed more firepower. And so the E3 variant is essentially the same as an E1, except they began adding the 20 millimeter MG-FF cannons in the wing root. So they basically essentially lost the machine guns. They also added some armor for the pilot and the fuel tank on the E3 variant, which was not on the E1, which increased the weight of the aircraft slightly, although my understanding this did not harm the performance at all. So the E-4 variant, there was only one modification. There's nothing externally different. You couldn't tell the difference from an E3 to E4. The cannon was slightly different. Was an MGFF H, I think, cannon. They began modifying the mechanism to fire explosive rounds through the cannon, which of course would increase the killing power, the damage power of the aircraft. So they began increasing the firepower of the aircraft, realizing they had a deficit when they began to run across the Spitfire and the Hurricanes, and more competent Allied pilots compared to what they had run into at the beginning of the war. So that's enough about the background of the E variants. I hope I did not bore you too much. So let's get inside the box and take a look at what we have. And Airfix Club, which we can't join, the Decals sheet. We'll get to that. And instruction sheet and color marking guide. Let's take a brief look at the instruction sheet. So, booklet style format. It is stapled, which I like. I prefer, actually. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom in slightly for you guys so you can see this a little better. Very easy to follow. I don't think you could ask for any nicer instructions. Step 1 is some minor assembly of the seat, the trim control, more cockpit detail. It's very simple construction, and of course it looks like it comes with a figure. Very easy to follow instructions. The color callouts, it took me a while to figure out where the color calls. It's not calling out really anything in specific. I guess they, since Hornby owns Airfix now, they're going to want you to use Humbrol colors. I've got the Viejo color set, but the color callouts are actually located on the painting and marking guide. So, as you can see, it's a very straightforward construction. The illustrations are quite good, and they're large, easy to follow. I really like this on this instruction set. I think it's one of the things that will help make this kit very easy to assemble. There's a lot of neat little options in the kit that you can call out, because there's several different versions that you can build. There's even a E-4B, which is a bomb variant. The standard fighter variants were not equipped with the external bomb rack or fuel rack. There's even a different choice of nose spinners. So that's basically the instruction sheet. So let's take a look at the sprues. There's not very many, so this won't take long. If I could beg your patience. I'm going to go ahead and open this, since Shane and I are going to start building this, and I hope not too long. So bag sprues. Clear parts and a separate bag. I'm going to leave those in here because, of course, I don't want them to be damaged. So I'm going to back up the camera just a little bit. And, oop. There's a pilot's arm. There we go. Nice detail. Really nice. Good looking cockpit instrumentation panel. This sprue contains mostly cockpit detail, although there is some. For example, it has the wheels. It's got a drop tank and a bomb. I think that's an SC500. Could be an SC250 bomb. That stands for the kilogram weight. There's 3 different spinners to choose from. Werner Mulders chose to plug the nose on his spinner on his aircraft because of the additional induced drag. There's some really nice looking seat belts molded into the I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see this. Molded into the look at that. Oops. Really good looking seat belt. It'll bring out some detail and certainly take a wash nicely. It's also a pretty decent looking figure. You guys can check that out. Pretty nicely detailed. Engine cowling detail is also quite good. Recessed panel lines. MG17 machine guns will be, of course, poking slightly through the cowling there. See the bomb rack hard point. It's detailed. If you want to put that on your aircraft, that's got to be probably an option. So there's that first sprue. There's the second and last sprue. This is pretty much all the airframe. So we're talking the wings, the fuselage halves, all pretty much molded in one piece. The control surfaces, the ailerons and the vertical stabilizers, these can all be, I think, modeled pretty much in any position that you want, which is a really nice feature of this kit. But I'll tell you what's spectacular is the rivet and recessed panel line detail on this model. For the cost is excellent. Let me back up just a little. Oops. Look at the detail on this wing. And bring that back into the light. Oops. You guys can see that, I think. I don't think you can ask for better than that. So, gear bay. There's detail inside there as well, by the way. Yeah, because if you look at the underside, the only thing that's going to be a pain in the patood is there's some ejector pin marks here that will need to be filled and sanded down, and they're kind of tricky to get to with a sanding stick. So there's some detail there. Not a lot of detail on the fuselage halves, cockpit detail, but there's a little. You can see that there. You see that there as well. But it's not terrible. But for what this kit costs, that's what I like it. And I think this may be my second build for the aircraft, or my second aircraft build. So it's going to be Shane and I once again doing this. And what do we have here? This is the painting and marking guide. And there are 1, 2, 3 different aircraft to choose from. Sure enough, you have your choice of an E-1, 3, or E-4. And this is Adolf Gallans aircraft. I'll probably be doing this one because I like all the yellow on the nose. I'll probably be doing this aircraft. Traditional early war scheme with the splinter pattern camo and then the mottling on the side. This is going to be a fun build, I think. And look at this on the color, on the painting and marking guide. And I know a lot of you guys, especially overseas in the UK, buy a lot of Airfix kits. I've never bought one before, so this is kind of a new experience for me. A really nice looking sprue map, but they put it on the painting and marking guide, which I thought was kind of different. So let me set that aside. And the canopy, the clear parts, look pretty nice. They don't look too thick. The detail's good, and of course there's more than one canopy here, obviously for the different variants that you can build. There's going to be an armor plate that will be inserted on the E3 and E4 variant, or maybe just the E4. Not sure, 100% sure of that. And here's the decals. And there are a lot of them, and they look really nice. They're very thin. I'll zoom in for you. Decals are very thin. A lot of the maintenance stencils, of course, are supplied. I've never had to do that many decals before. As an armor builder, you don't really do that many decals. Usually there's just a handful. 6 or 8 would be a lot on a tank model. So there's molders. Oh, that's Gallans. That's the Mickey Mouse figure. Excuse me. That's Adolf Gallans, not molders. I don't know the Geschwaders or the squadrons by heart yet. So that's the decal sheet. Of course, you'll notice there were no swastikas in that, but I have something to address that issue. Some guys don't want to put them on, some guys do. I think if we're going to do a representation by building the model, I'm going to do it the proper justice of having the correct insignia whenever possible. So I have this nice, from Warbirds Multi-Scale Kits World swastika decal sheet. And every swastika pretty much I will ever need is on this sheet. And it's actually the ME262, the JU87, the Focke-Wulf 190, the ME-109, and then obviously multiple scales, from as small as 1/44th scale, 1/144th, all the way up to 1/32nd. That's pretty nice. So, and I think I paid, I don't know, $8 or $9 for this. Bought it from a dealer here in the U.S. off of eBay. So, Guys, thanks for watching. This is the kit that Shane Smith and I will be building together, and a buddy build that will be starting very soon. Nice little kit. I would certainly recommend it. It looks like it's going to be easy enough, so this would be good for beginner modelers, especially me, since I'm a beginning aircraft modeler. But thank you very much for watching, and be tuning in for updates as Shane and I begin this project. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I appreciate everyone's support once again in my channel. I'm sorry it's been about a week or so since I've posted any videos, but I hope everyone has a good afternoon. I will talk to you later.